I got Chris Camillo here from Dumb Money Live, who has changed the world of trading. Doesn't trade like you and I, he just uses his phone and social media. How did he create wealth starting at $20,000 and changing it to $40 million in 16 years? Well, you're about to find out how, because I'm gonna dive deep into those questions with him while we destroy the world of investing. You've been trading for about 35 years, right, roughly?
Yeah.
I got here about 35 glasses, maybe a little more, give or take. What I want to do is ask you questions, and after you answer each question, I want you to break a glass. What got you into trading to begin with?
I was a kid who used to garage sale every weekend. I would get up on Thursday and Friday mornings at like 5, 6 a.m. before school started, and I would take the public bus all around the city to estate sales and garage sales that I had determined the night before were most likely to have mispriced items. They were terrible at understanding the value of items that were more male focused, like old watches or some collectibles or baseball cards. So I would focus on sales that had those types of items, and I would be the first person at that sale, like 5:36 in the morning. And this is pre-eBay, right? So I would buy that stuff for pennies on the dollar, and then I kind of developed a network of like dealers around the country, and I had like dealers for every single type of product. So I was arbing estate sale merchandise. Like this is before Gary, this is pre-Gary V. I was Gary V-ing stuff like in the mid-90s.
Hold on, I got it.
Awesome, right? Isn't that
crazy.
great, dude?
Oh! I'm sure you had losses too, so like how do you deal with that?
Yeah, here's the deal. You're gonna start. Hopefully you start early, but it doesn't matter how old you are. Just start and just understand that you are going to suck so bad for a while.
Yes.
And maybe you don't suck. Maybe you end up being better at it. But just set the bar really low. Almost everybody I ever met that is an insanely good investor, and there's not a lot of really, really good investors, they all sucked at some point, right? Yeah. So like, you have to go through that stage. So embrace it, man, because you are gonna make so many mistakes. And I don't care how many books you read, I don't care how many YouTube videos you watch of amazing traders, I don't care. You are not going to learn your lessons through them. It'd be nice if you did, we never do. The only way to learn lessons is to lose money. You have to feel it.
Yes,
you have to feel the loss, because if you don't feel it, the lesson is not learned. You know what I'm saying? So like, and people don't really appreciate, like losing money is one of the most special things that you could ever give a person, because when you lose money as an investor, you become smarter and you will end up making a lot more money than you lost at some point in the future because of the lesson you learned. But I know most people don't want to feel like an idiot.
Yes.
Like I have made so many stupid mistakes. It's just part of the game, dude. And you got to embrace it. You got to embrace it, because if you're not willing to take losses, then you're never gonna make it. But there's risk. My biggest lesson was understanding that there is literally no way to have a sure thing.
Woo! Okay. Smash one of those things. Smash it on the table.
On it?
Yeah.
Well, that seems scary, man. I don't know why. Like, is Bill's gonna come back?
Yeah, I know. I mean, do something. I don't know if you noticed, but while we were talking, my buddy Dave over there went ahead and brought in a little black box here. This is a little mystery box that at the end of this whole thing, you're going to be able to break that down. It's going to be a gift to a lot of viewers out there. So make sure you watch to the end, because you want to find out what's in that box.
All right.
Oh,
that's great.
That feels good. That feels good. All right, so Chris, now we're going to change things up. We got here short or long, and I want you to throw whichever mug you choose into which side is more in your favor, what you prefer, if you will. So in this case, short or long, which one do you prefer?
People don't like short traders. And honestly, the majority of my trades historically have been long, but I will let the information take me either way. Like whatever the information leads me that I'm researching, but majority of the time I'm long.
Yeah, these are much harder.
These are harder. And these are kind of sad, because there's some good mugs in here we're destroying. I mean, who's gonna, I don't think don't think I can throw away the happy Easter. How do you break that, dude?
So what about the whole saying of, are you more technical heavy, fundamental heavy? What would you say you are?
Dude, neither, dude.
Neither? Yeah?
Neither, man. Jack Schwager, the Unknown Market Wizards book that he wrote, that I'm one of the 5 equity traders that he wrote about, the chapter of my title is neither. Neither technical or fundamental.
So throw it both.
Observational investing, social arb. It's neither. Oh man, this is sad. It's a beautiful mug.
I'm going to throw it
right in the middle.
Let's go with you. Let's go.
I hate technical. All right, let me try it again. Dude, this does not break easily.
Oh!
This is easy,
So
dude.
cash or margin account. Which
This
one
is easy. Always margin for me, man. I was fully between 70 and 100% margin throughout all of the pandemic, and I brought my margin down to 30% just recently in the last 8-9 months. I'm always on margin, dude.
Woo! That was a great throw. What's next? What's next? Are you one screen or multiple screens?
Dude.
You know how people are always fighting about that?
100% of my trading over the past 10, 15 years has been on this screen. This is the only screen I trade off of. That's it.
Insane.
I don't even use a monitor, dude. This is so sad. I can't believe it. This is such a cool cup. Friends are the sunshine of life, but not today.
That's insane. One screen. What's crazy about that is I know that it's mostly off of social media, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And it's not really off of me, I look at charts, most traders look at charts, and you complete opposite.
Here's the thing, dude. Wall Street is using transactional data to get an edge on investors, okay? So they're reading our credit card receipts to figure out what we're buying every month and then trading ahead of earnings on the insights that they extract. How do we beat Wall Street? We got to get one step ahead. There's only one way to beat transactional data, and it's in our ability to interpret contextualized data, speech, right? Because what do we do before we buy something? We talk about it, man. The second things are happening in real time, in the moment, we can see what people are doing and buying and how they're behaving on social. So it's the most magical data set that's ever been built, and it's freaking free.
Insane.
It's free for the entire world to use. You don't need $100,000 credit card data sets like the hedge funds to beat them at their own game.
And we just kind of talked about this, so go ahead and just throw it.
Go
ahead and just throw it. We know the answer.
Man. No charts for me, ever. Well, no stock charts, that is.
Okay.
I don't look at price. The ideal way to be an observational trader is to trade completely blind to price. I don't want to know what it's trading at when I buy it or when I sell it. You're just trading information. You're trading information that you think other people haven't appreciated. So the second that information gets out into the world and everyone starts appreciating it, that's when you theoretically exit as an observational trader, regardless of whether the stock is up or down. So I don't look at price. I don't look at charts.
Which one do you prefer? I mean, I think this might be easy. You know what I mean?
This is super easy for me.
Yeah.
You know what I prefer?
What?
Right here. The best market for what I do is just a market that's stable as hell. It's not radically moving up or down. It's just stable because I want to trade information. And the more volatile the market, the more likely that something else will impact that stock that is outside of the information I'm trading. Interest rates, Fed movements, right? Supply chain issues. It doesn't matter. Maybe I find bad information on a company, but the market's moving up so quickly that it doesn't even matter the information I'm trading that's bad, right? So I just want the market to be basically flat. Maybe a little bit moving up. I'm gonna shoot right. That's where I'm going for.
All right. Let's see if we can get that. I think that was spot on. You left the mark. You left the mark. Now, where are you at on this?
Biggest misconception when it comes to observational investing. There's no way you're going to have information on a big cap that the big guys don't have. BS.
Yep.
Most of my biggest trades have been actually on large caps, not on small caps. Apple, back in the day when the iPhone first came out, and the entire world, all of Wall Street, every financial analyst thought that the iPhone was going to fail. It needed a keyboard. There's no way this thing's going to work, right? They didn't hold one in their hand, and all of New York was not able to use AT&T for data because AT&T at the time, data didn't go through buildings when the iPhone first came out. Everybody was on Verizon, so virtually nobody had an iPhone when it first came out in Manhattan on Wall Street because it was only offered on AT&T. That's a huge, huge bias. It's one of the many biases Wall Street had against Apple when the iPhone came out. That was one of my biggest trades. Same with Amazon and AWS, right? Big caps are just as easy to trade as an observational investor as small caps. Wall Street is wrong on big caps as often as they miss information on small caps. And unlike small caps, like that Jack specific trade told you about, where I got screwed because one investor blew the market, one investor is not going to totally mess with a big cap, right? So I'm going with big caps.
Ooh. That was a tough one.
That was a thick mug.
Hold on, I want to try this too. Go ahead.
Go. There you go.
That was satisfying.
Thank you.
That's all I got to say. This new game is bullshit or legit.
Okay.
I got a list of questions here from Twitter, so thank you so much on Twitter for always asking questions on my DMs. Is there such thing as a holy grail indicator that can make you successful in trading?
You have to be one step ahead. So no, in my world, there's not one indicator. It's just trying to be early. I support local coffee shops, not Starbucks. All right. So that is.
Woo! What about you need charts to be successful?
Yeah. The most obvious chart that everyone has access to is Google Trends, man. It's free. It's 90+% of all the world's search traffic, and anybody can do it. Doesn't mean you can do it effectively, because you have to get good at knowing what to look for in Google Trends. And you have to understand when people start searching for a product or brand in a way that's different from a month ago or a year ago, that just doesn't mean to trade the stock. You have to understand the context behind why they're searching for that brand. It could be a negative thing. Yep. Right? It could be because the product is now discounted so heavily that everybody heard about it and wants it, right? So you have to understand the context behind why people are searching for things. But Google Trends has always been one of my favorite free resources, charts, right?
Interesting,
that anybody has access to.
Woo! Level 2. You hear all the time, like, oh, do I need level 2 to be successful, to know where, the fake bids, fake offers?
People, this is what bugs the hell. Listen, I used to rip on technical traders. I used to think there was no such thing as a good technical trader. I thought it was all a circus show. I still think it mostly is. But most people shouldn't be doing that crap. I mean, I don't know why all these regular people that have no experience in the markets are hopping in thinking they can be technical traders. Just do what I do. Just observe the world around you. That's something that anybody can do.
Yep.
You're a dentist, you're a homemaker, you're a gardener, like you're a kid, you're a grandpa, dude. Anybody can observe the world around you and get a little bit of an edge on Wall Street. You don't have to analyze technical charts and all this boring. To me, it's boring as hell.
Yep.
So I'm gonna say level 2, man. I trade off my iPhone, dude. Yeah. Why are you trying to compete in that way? For me, BS. Oh, no, I'm not taking that.
The technical guys have spoken.
Look how thick that is.
Oh, dang, that thing came at me.
All right.
Social media to trade. Could you give us an easy example of how you went from start to finish, like with TikTok, as you do?
How about like this year? One of my biggest trades this year was Lululemon. Lululemon crossbody bag went super viral on TikTok. Millions and millions of people talking about this stupid crossbody bag, going to Lulu every few days because they're always out of stock. At the same time, we had the second big year of Bama Rush on TikTok. You know what that is?
No, I don't.
Oh, dude, come on, man. This is Alabama Rush Talk, to where they rush sororities at Alabama, and all the girls do crazy dances, and it went viral, and now every college, especially in the South, gets on TikTok, and they spend weeks choreographing these crazy dances for TikTok, and afterwards, they show you like what they're wearing. It's like part of the Rush Talk culture.
Yep.
And like Lululemon was huge this last summer on Rush Talk. It seems like a stupid thing, but it's not stupid, because Lulu became so freaking cool with the younger demographic over the past 12 to 18 months. That's a culture shift. There's nothing bigger than a culture shift when it comes to investing, and culture is the thing that Wall Street is worst at when it comes to detecting. They are so slow to detect culture shifts. So we had a hot product in the crossbody bag that might not have generated that much cash for Lulu, but it brought people in the store. They get in the store, the crossbody's sold, that's a cheap bag. They
Yeah.
end up buying a couple other things while they're in there. Both those things combined led to one of the biggest earnings scores they ever had. Even in a really down market, Lulu was one of the very few companies that crushed it a couple quarters ago. And that really kind of helped save my year in what was one of the, as we all know, one of the toughest years, 2021, especially for long investors.
Yep.
So of course it's legit, man. Social. It's not just legit, it's everything.
The last one, man,
Yeah.
you need a background in education, finance to do what you do, to
Hell
find
no.
success.
No. In fact, if you don't have a background in finance or math, you are more qualified to be a great investor. You see, people that have a background in finance or they're financially minded generally are more disconnected from culture and from consumer behavior, and their brain is less likely to interpret that stuff quickly. The best investors, believe it or not, are probably creative people, people that are in touch with culture, younger people, right?
Yeah.
It could be older people too, but like anyone that doesn't have those, like that bias, that set bias. Forget about the noise. I don't watch CNBC, I don't read the Wall Street Journal, I don't read any financial papers for the most part.
Yep.
Dude, I'm on TikTok all day long, right? That's all I'm doing, dude.
Yeah.
And honestly, the best people at this, women would actually make
Yeah.
amazing investors. But even better, men that have women in their lives, because women are like deeply in the conversation. Men could observe the conversations, because women control most of the consumer behavior in this world, right? So listen to women, people from different, skin colors, right?
Yep.
Like Wall Street is mostly men and mostly white,
Yep.
but the people that are controlling the culture are not.
Ah,
So it's really hard for a middle-aged, wealthy white guy who lives in Manhattan to get a sense for what's happening around the world until their like data sheets tell them about it, which is like, could be a month or two late.
yep.
So I'm gonna say,
All right, Chris, we got the bear here to represent the bear market, because a lot of people have experienced the bear market, especially in 2022. Please help me understand, like, what has been the most frustrating time for you during the bear market, and how do you get through it?
all right, I love bear markets first of all, but this one has sucked.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because you just never know what's going to happen day to day. And it's like, it's something new. It's either supply chain issues, inflation, Fed, man, no matter what you do, dude, they keep changing it. I love bear markets because we need them.
Yep.
We need them. But I'm so glad when it's over, dude, because like this one has to end at some point, man. And I know people are saying it's just barely starting, but like it feels like we've been in it forever. But it's an important part of the cycle. Like you want bear markets. Bear markets are what allows us to actually invest again at reasonable levels.
Tell me what came out of this, by the way.
Snakes and money and Amazon gift cards.
We're giving away multiple Amazon gift cards for being here and watching this show, so stay tuned to the end to learn how to enter. And we wouldn't be able to do these things if it wasn't for our sponsor, Cobra Trading. You need to check them out because they help us out, so help them out. And here's the thing, they're the best broker in my personal opinion for day traders, especially short sellers. You won't get nickel and dime every time you borrow shares to short. So check them out, link below, they have the best deal for you. Pavers.
Dude,
Here's
that's,
what
that's legit.
That's legit, right? These are fake. These
It's
are-
not like the karate ones that
No.
are like, designed. This is no messing around.
What have you found when you talk to other people who are trying to get into this business that they're so hard-headed on that they can't really get over?
Yeah, I can't do this. That number one thing that I'm told. Dude, I don't have time. I don't understand that stuff.
Yep.
I'm not interested in it. People just don't think they could do it. And the reality is, they're more qualified, like we talked about,
Yep.
to beat the market than a financially minded Wharton grad where, you get, graffiti artist is so in touch with changes in culture that
Yep.
that person is more able to identify changes and connect the dots of that change to investable opportunities in companies that are publicly traded than anyone on Wall Street. So the biggest thing is like, I can't do it because I'm not qualified. Yeah, that's the whole point. You are qualified because you're not qualified.
Yes.
This is like Thor, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come down with so much heat.
Oh, yes!
Damn! Oh God, that felt good, dude.
What do you think is the mistake that a lot of traders make so many times and they just do not learn from it?
My number one pet peeve in trading that all traders make is the exit. People think that they need to take gains. People think, what's that saying, like hogs get slaughtered? People will sell because they're up. You're invested, any stock, doesn't matter what it is.
Yep.
Has a huge run. You're up 10x on that stock. Should you take some off the table? I'm just asking you. Based on that, should you take some off the table?
I mean, it just depends on your plan.
What you made or lost on a trade should have nothing to do with your decision to stay in that trade. The fact that you made 1,000% on it has nothing to do with whether it's a good trade going forward. But psychologically, we cannot get around the fact that I made so much money, I should take some gains. Well, it might still be the best trade ever going forward.
Yeah.
You shouldn't let that impact. The two things have nothing to do with each other. Nothing. Have you ever heard the term like hold the stock? Mm-hmm. The word hold drives me freaking nuts.
HOLD?
Yes.
Or HODL?
HOLD.
Okay, gotcha.
Like ratings. You have a sell rating, a hold rating, and a buy rating. What's this hold? There's no such thing as a hold. It's either good or bad. It's either buy or sell. I've actually watched brilliant people come on and say, you know what, on like CNBC, right?
Sure.
And they're managing multi-billion-dollar funds, right? And they'll say, you know what, I would not buy this stock at this level, but if you already own it, I would stay in it. What the hell? What? Does that make any sense? Except for a tax issue, right? Like, yeah, if you don't want to take your tax gain,
Sure.
if you're holding for long-term gains over 12 months, maybe you stay in it for an extra few months for tax purposes. But there's no reason why past performance or the fact that you're already in something or made money should make any difference with your decision going forward. It's a huge psychological hurdle that even the smartest people on Wall Street are so freaking messed up in their head to like cement that as a thing.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm very curious on, it had to be a moment, right? When you were trading or learning that you were just so hard-headed on and it took a while to finally get over.
One of my highest conviction trades I've ever made that went south was right before the pandemic, which ended up, the pandemic was obviously my biggest year ever in trading.
Yeah.
But right before that, I had a trade on a company called Restaurant Brands International.
Okay.
They own Burger King, Popeyes, and Tim Hortons, which is that Canadian coffee chain, right?
Okay.
This never happens. They own 3 companies, and 2 of the companies were about to have the best quarter in the history of Burger King. Like, Burger King had the Impossible Burger. I had been tracking that since the day it came out, even before it came out when it was in testing. This is the biggest thing to ever happen to Burger King. Popeyes had the chicken sandwich at the same time. The biggest thing to ever happen to Popeyes and the biggest thing to ever happen to Burger King, both owned by the same company, my mind was blown. And I was tracking this so hard, right? I was so excited. I went all in on this trade. Insane amount of leverage. The third company they owned was Tim Hortons. Problem was Tim Hortons actually represented more than 50% of the entire company. So both Burger King and Popeyes were less than 50%. Tim Hortons, Canadian coffee chain, almost impossible to get good information on. Tim Hortons had been going like this for like 5 years, just slowly down. It's like, they'll probably have another quarter where they go kind of slightly down. No big deal because the 2 things happening at Popeyes, Burger King, dude, this is it. This is the one I've been waiting for all year. Turns out, Tim Hortons had the worst quarter in the history of the company. Even though Burger King and Popeyes did exactly what I thought was gonna happen, company got destroyed, Restaurant Brands, because of the bad quarter at Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons had a franchisee trade show in Florida a few weeks before earnings. I had known to go to that trade show and just hang out at the bar and talk to all the franchisees who I later found out were going nuts because of the bad quarter and were really pissed off at corporate and all this shit went down right in Florida. I would have gotten out of that trade before earnings. It just goes to show you that this, no matter what your methodology is, your strategy is, if you don't do 100% of what you can do to check your facts, to do your research, to do your homework, that one was on me. Before I told you a story about Jack specific, there's no way I could have known about that. With Restaurant Brands, that was on me. And I got lazy, dude.
Yep.
Now, I thought I worked hard, but I didn't work hard enough. I missed something, and that was on me. Quite honestly, I went in a shell and didn't talk to anyone. I lost an insane amount of money.
Yeah.
We're talking 7 figures on that trade. It was less than 6 months later that I made the biggest trade of my life, which was the shorting the market into COVID when I was analyzing, interpreting Chinese newspapers.
Yeah.
When coronavirus was first starting in China. Nobody saw it. Nobody cared about it. But I was able to get back and to place an insanely levered trade on an account that was damaged 6 months earlier, which is scary. I'm glad I did it. So I came back, but I'll never forget that because that just shows me that I need to make sure that I cover my bases and that I'm performing here, right?
Yes.
In terms of what I can control, what I can do.
Yeah,
That's good.
I know you also helped your buddies become traders, right? When you've helped someone, what was the most frustrating part when like helping someone understand what you do? Like to actually help them understand, execute.
So here's the funny thing. Because listen, you know, I have a YouTube show, Dumb Money.
Yep.
Dumb Money Live on YouTube. Me, Dave, and Jordan are best friends. We're literally on, we're on YouTube like every week for years now. There's not a single thing that I do that they don't know about from the second it enters my mind. And yet, both those guys have missed out on so many of my big trades. Like, they're there. They've seen me. They've seen all the money. They've seen the return. They're literally, I'm not like, I'm their best friend, right?
Yeah.
Until you do it yourself, you don't really believe. So it's like investing is not the type of thing where you can follow other people and just kind of learn from them. You have to do it yourself because I believe in myself. I believe in my research.
Yep.
Even if I present all the research to them and everything, I'm like, come on, drill holes in it. And they're like, it seems good. And maybe they'll put like a little bit of money. I'm like, guys, this is it. This is it, man. This is it. Put a 30-year portfolio in it. Don't you see this? It's like, we've done this 100 times. This is the one. You're kind of crazy, Chris. You know what I'm saying? Like, they still treat me like that, right? It just shows that, like, you don't have to get conviction in your trade. You have to be in it. You have to be, and the times that Dave and Jordan have gone all in on trades are the times when I've been able to pull them in to do their own research, right? And like really pulling them in to get really engaged and involved in the trade.
Before you break this, I'm going to add one more to represent both of them.
I was
saying, you know what I'm saying?
That's Dave and Jordan.
So Dave and Jordan, we want to make sure that he gets through to y'all.
All right, I got to get through both those guys.
That's right.
Hard-headed guys at the same time.
That's right. Hopefully I'll go all in next time. I don't know.
There's no way I'm gonna break this last one, dude. I've done a lot of interviews, dude.
Yeah.
Over the past 10 years. It's the funnest thing I've ever done. I want to see your face.
Thank you.
I want to see your face
I appreciate it.
when you hit that thing, right?
I'm gonna come over here though. I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna come over here.
Come over here.
Because I haven't done this, and I'm a little curious. I'm a little nervous to be honest. I was looking forward to this.
Hit the. You come down hard.
All right, here we go. There we go.
Cool?
You've been breaking through so many barriers, especially in this industry. And you're showing a lot of these people that they can do things differently as well. So we've got this wall here to represent you breaking through barriers.
You know what I'm thinking when I see this wall?
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's like this invisible wall of the investor class. Because like for me, dude, my dream is to have every human on earth be part of the investor class, right? Because like that's how we solve the wealth gap. We can't solve the income gap. We can't pay everybody everything. But it doesn't matter what your job is, dude. Everyone can be part of the investor class, and then none of us have caps on our wealth. It's gonna cut through this thing. Oh!
There you go. You know what? Go to town.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. What is this?
So this right here,
I love
St. Jude's Children's. We're gonna give back to St. Jude's because we're all about changing the training community for the better. We're gonna give $1,000 to St. Jude's, and our goal is to hit 10,000. So feel free to help us out.
I'll match your 1,000 right now, dude.
Oh,
You're
dude.
2,000, dude. Done.
That's awesome.
Done.
We're getting
1,000
there.
for me. From Dumb Money to St. Jude's, dude.
Let's do it. The most common thing that all traders visualize when they think of trading.
Yeah.
A desk setup.
Hell no.
And this is complete opposite.
Oh, man. Go for it.
Oh, you want to keep it up there? Okay.
What is that? Is that like...
So that mystery box there is for all of you, the viewers, for staying to the end. Go for it.
Mess it up?
Yep, mess it up. Let's see what's inside.
Whoa! Whoa!
That was sick.
What? What is this, dude?
That represents what every trader has to deal with every single day, and that's being understanding that black swans can happen.
Oh, hell yes, they do.
They absolutely can. That is to unlock the gift for all of you for watching to the end. Not only are you going to be able to win a gift card from Amazon, but tell me what's in there real quick, Chris.
Let's see. Stream decks.
We're going to be giving away multiple Amazon gift cards and stream decks to everyone who watched to the end. All you have to do is click the link to enter and comment on this video, Bear Stream Decks, and you get an entry.